Sheffield United are rock bottom of the Premier League after that absolute thrashing they suffered at the hands of Newcastle United. Relegation is certainly looking likely, but I do know one person who can sort them out. That's right, boys, I'm becoming the new manager of Sheffield United, and by the end of this video, I'll be making them the best team in the world. So this is the team we've loaded into, and Jesus Christ, we're in trouble. Let's start positive though. They've got some solid players like Gustavo Hamer, Vinicius Souza, and of course Anel Amadozic. But going with the cons, as you can see, this is a pretty aging team with not many people high rated. And Luke Thomas and James McAtee are currently on loan to us right now, and to be fair, we could have done with them being on a permanent deal. But the worst thing by a mile, look at how many players that we've got with only 1 year left on the contract, man. This is definitely going to be one of the most tricky rebuilds I've done in quite some time. And we've got 19 million to start off with, man. After we sorted those contracts out, we're barely going to have any money left for signings. When it comes to the contracts, not everybody's going to get theirs renewed, man. I'm going to have to be very tactical with this. And these are the players who in the end have decided not to renew their contracts. It's either they're not good enough for the starting 11 or they're too old. And to be fair, we do have 16 million left in the budget, so overall it's not that bad. But let's be honest, boys, this starting 11 is very bad, and if we don't make the necessary improvements, we're definitely getting relegated. But we are switching this formation around because there's no way I'm rocking with 5 at the back this early in FC 24. And one thing I've noticed, there's no wingers in this team at all, so any formation with a winger in it is completely out of the question. I reckon this formation's our best shot. There's no wingers in it, so that means it'll suit this team down to a T. And with that formation change, the team still doesn't look any better. We are going to have to pull off a miracle to not get relegated this year. Now, one thing I'm doing straight away is setting our tactical vision. Now, to be honest, I'm not too sure what to actually go for. But I think the counter-attack is probably our best option. Soak all the pressure up all game and then hit them on the counter to get the win. And I have sorted the coaches out, but for the counter-attack, these were the best that they had. But best believe we're definitely going to be adding on to this as the rebuild progresses. But already, majority of the team are getting bumps in overall, so that's at least a positive. But we've done all we can tactically. Now it's actually time to improve this team by bringing players into it. Now, honestly, I think focusing on our backline and goalkeeper is going to be key to keeping us in the Prem this year. But remember, we've only got 16 million in the budget, so whoever we sign, we're going to have to be extremely tactical with it. But before we make any signings from outside the club, there's 2 players I want to make permanent players of Sheffield United. James McAtee and Luke Thomas, they're both pretty young. They've got a pretty decent potential on them, and I think for the next couple of years at least, they'll definitely help Sheffield United climb the table in the Premier League. And starting with Luke Thomas, we got a fantastic deal as we gave Leicester City max low as well as 560,000. And as for James McAtee, we only had to spend 2.05 million. And whilst we've not brought any other players to the team, at least everybody in this starting 11 is actually a Sheffield United player, so that isn't something we've got to worry about. And we've still got 14 million in the budget, and I think that's definitely enough for what I want to do. Now, starting with the goalkeeper, we're going for Hugo Lloris from the Bottle Jobs. He's 83 rated at 36 years old. Granted, he's coming to the end of his career, but he's definitely better than the keeper we've got right now. And because he's only got 12 months left on his contract, we only had to fork out 660,000 for him. The only problem now, we've got 10 million left in our budget, so at best we can make one more signing. And I'm happy to leave our fullbacks as they are, but we definitely need a better centre-back than Egan if we do want to survive the Premier League. But thankfully, I found the centre-back we're after. Luan Perez from Fenerbahce. He's 28 years old, 76 rated, and he's well within our budget. And we are going to end our transfer window with the signing of Luan Perez for just over 5.5 million. And as you can see, the objectives aren't actually that bad, so not only have we got a good shot of staying up this year, we've got a good shot of keeping our job. But this is the starting 11 heading into season 1, and I'll be real, whilst we have got a shot of staying up, there's an equally good chance that we're going to get relegated as well. If we do survive though, it'll be because we bolstered our defence and got Hugo Lloris. That will literally be the only reason. But it's pretty early in FC 24, and I'll be real, I really don't want to get relegated this early into the game. But as we're simulating to the end of the season, if you wouldn't mind dropping this video a like and hitting that subscribe button, that would be absolutely incredible. Now, we have arrived at the end of May, and as you can see, our manager rating is actually really goddamn good, so I'm hoping that means we've survived. Oh my god, we're 10th in the league? How the hell have we pulled that one off? Burnley and Luton did get relegated alongside Brighton. Okay, FC 24 is officially broken, man. Brighton are one of the best teams in the Premier League, for God's sake. But the fact we've got 10th in the league in the first season with the Blades is actually mental. Now, obviously, behind the scenes, I have been messing around with this coaching system to get myself familiar with it. I've got a feeling that this is a little bit too overpowered because there's no way the Sheffield United side should be surviving that comfortably in the Premier League. But looking at the team right now, when you consider what it looked like at the start of season 1, the improvement is actually phenomenal. These stats are mental. 28 and 4 for Archer, 13 and 4 for McBurney, 10 and 6 for Hamer, and 10 and 10 for James McAtee. This is the Blades we're talking about. Bottom of the league in the Prem. And these are the stats at the end of season 1. I am in genuine disbelief at what we've accomplished this year, man. We may even get European football in the next 2 seasons, man. That is how mental this season has been. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm not moaning about this. I just hope the budget's there for us next season so that we can improve the team even further and get a better position in the league next year. So we're now into season 2 with the Blades, and just look at how daft this objective is. Get a streak of 3 clean sheets in away matches this season. How is that a medium priority, man? I just don't see the logic in that. Other than this one, I think the objectives this season are very doable. And looking at the team, if I'm being completely honest, I'm actually happy to leave majority of it as it is because most of this team now are quite young. Especially the likes of Cameron Archer, Jaden Bogle, and of course James McAtee. Obviously Hugo Lloris will go down in overall. He's 37 years old now, but I think we'll get one more season out of him. I think a new striker up top with Archer, and we do very decent again this year. But don't get it twisted, last year was very fluky. This season will be brought back down to reality. But the budget of 29 million isn't going to really help us. I think we're going to make one signing this year and we're going to go all out on bringing in a very good striker. And boys, I believe I found the striker for the job. Amin Adli is 24 years old and 79 rated. And on top of that, Brighton in this save got relegated last year, and let's be honest, a guy that good definitely doesn't deserve to be playing in the Championship. And trust me, we almost bankrupted ourselves bringing him to the team as we've just spent 25.5 million on him. And we've also sent a stupid amount of people out on loan because let's be honest, boys, these guys are all young and they're not going to get any better spending time on the subs bench. But this is the team headed into season 2, and honestly, I haven't really got any expectations for where we want to finish in the league. All I want is this team to improve. I mean, the board do want us to get mid-table again, but it is a very low priority, so all in all, it doesn't really matter if we don't achieve that. But with our new striker partnership up top, I'm actually quite interested to see how this team actually does in the Premier League this time. Will the first season be a complete fluke, or are we going to get back-to-back mid-table finishes? But once again at the end of May, and this time the manager rating is a big fat thumbs down. I'm guessing we haven't done that well this year. To be honest, I'll definitely take 14th in the league. We dropped down 4 places from last year, but we all know that last year was definitely a fluke. The thing is, looking at the team now, these are obviously the standout players, and if we make the right signings next year, we're definitely in contention for a top 10 finish. One thing I will say, look at the improvement from the loaned out players, man, especially Benny Traore, 74 rated, 22 years old, definitely a decent second choice striker. But what a debut season for Amin Adli, 29 goal contributions and 42 games for a team that finished 14th in the league. That is actually ridiculous. But the main thing we're brushing over, we've made Sheffield United a stellar Premier League side now. It's just a case of building this team up to the point where we can push for top 10 football. And with the team looking like this, I think I know exactly what I need to do to get us to that position. So season 3 is officially upon us, and just look at some of these objectives, man. The board are off their rockers. Firstly, they want us to sign a veteran player, and for some reason that's a medium priority. I don't see why that's such a high priority. And they want us to get Europa League football for season 4, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. That is not happening this year. And they've only given us 39 million to do this, man. What are they expecting us to do with that money to get us Europa League football? I'd love to know. Honestly, from the midfield up, we've got to leave it alone because that is by a mile the strongest parts of the team. But now's the time to get a better keeper. Hugo Lloris is almost 40 years old and he's 77 rated. And if we somehow do have money left over, we need a better centre-back or a left-back than Luke Thomas and Perez. But with only 39 million, I'm not sure we're going to be able to pull this off. But after searching for ages, I finally found the keeper I want. Nick Pope from Newcastle United. He's 33 years old, 84 rated. In my opinion, one of the best English goalkeepers we've got right now. And boys, we've got a fantastic deal as we only had to spend 3 million as well as giving them one of our centre-backs to make this deal happen. And in case you're wondering, the player was Austin Trusty, who we swapped him for. He wanted to get out of the club anyway, so it just seemed like a good idea. So we've now got the goalkeeper sorted. We just could do with bolstering this defence, and we may actually have a shot again Europa League football this time. And it turns out Nick Pope's a veteran player, so that's the brand exposure objective sorted without even realising. But after scouting for what felt like an eternity, I found the defender, Maxence Lacroix from Everton. He's 25 years old, 80 rated. I mean, I think this guy will definitely be the game changer for us this year. And after signing Lacroix for 26.7 million, that is officially our transfer window done. Now, as you can see, I have greatly bolstered the amount of coaches we've got, but a little tip for you, don't try to sack one because it will legitimately completely crash the game. Hopefully at some point EA do sort that out, because there's some coaches on here I need to get rid of to get better ones in. This is the starting 11 heading into our third season in charge of the Blades, and honestly, I'm actually liking the looks of this team now. Obviously there's still improvements to be made, but overall this is a very strong squad for the Premier League. Obviously the board wants us to get Europa League football. I mean, there is always a chance that could happen, you never know. Look at season 1 for example. But I don't think this team is strong enough for that yet. Maybe a top 10 finish, but definitely not Europa League. So as you can see, we have just arrived in June and our manager rating is actually a big fat thumbs up, so I'm assuming we've made Europa League football, which is absolutely insane if we have. This game is officially broke. How the freaking hell have we won the Premier League? I mean, you lot can think I've cheated. That's fair enough. I'd think I've cheated at this point, but I swear to God, I don't know what to even say to you guys, man. That coaching system is genuinely cracked. The fact that this team has won the Premier League is genuinely mental. It just goes to show how important the coaching and tactics are this time. And to be fair, how important defenders and goalkeepers are, because without Pope and Lacroix in the team, I can guarantee you we're not getting anywhere near the Premier League title. I mean, Adley is a monster. 47 goals in 44 games. That is just genuinely outrageous. And honestly, boys, look at the growth of our starting 11 players this year, man. Especially, I mean, Adley, man. 4 overall growth. He's going to be 90 rated by the end of this video. I can absolutely put money on it. I honestly don't know what to say, boys. We've surpassed the bloody board expectations this time. We've got freaking Champions League football next year. But this team is not going to be ready for it. We've not even got a team of 80 rated plus players in the starting 11, for God's sake. And our squad depth really isn't where it needs to be, man. Unless we get a big ass budget next year to work with, we are going to get annihilated in the Champions League. Boys, we're now into season 4 with the Blades, and just look at some of these objectives. Firstly, they want us to reach the quarters of the Champions League, but that is a very low priority, so it doesn't necessarily affect our job status if we don't actually achieve this. They want us to get top 4 football and the quarters of the FA Cup, and to be fair, after last year, that is fair enough. But for brand exposure, they want 7 clean sheets in home matches, and they want us to sign 3 South American players. Now, please explain to me how that is a medium priority. The mental thing is, that could literally dictate on whether we keep our job for season 5 or not. Honestly, the sooner they get rid of the objectives in this game, the bloody better. But looking at the team, we need a couple of centre midfielders and a left back, and I would argue we may make it past the group stage of the Champions League. And with 107 mil in the bank, we finally got a budget that we can properly work with to proper improve this team. And we are going to start the transfer window by bringing in left back Ian Matson from Chelsea. He's 24 years old and 81 rated. He will massively improve our back line. And we genuinely just got the bargain of the centuries. We've only spent 27 million to bring him to Sheffield United. And for one of those centre midfielder roles, I'm going for Alexis McAllister from Liverpool, 27 years old, 84 rated. We all know how good this guy is, and he will definitely improve the team. But McAllister wasn't exactly cheap, as we've just had to fork out 41.8 million for him. And for our third and final transfer of this window, I'm going for Seko Fofana, who's 31 years old and 82 rated, but the best part is he's a free agent. Now, we do have 20 million in our budget left, but I want to save that till January just in case anything surprises us. But this is the team headed into season 4, and honest to God, with those new signings, I'm actually kind of confident of what we can accomplish this year again. Now, am I saying we're going to go all the way in the Champions League? Absolutely not. But can we reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League? Now, I would say our team is good enough to get past the group stage, so honestly, I'd actually argue we can make the quarters. But obviously, this team does have to perform on the pitch, and we all know that anything can happen. And we've got an early opportunity silver as we're facing United in the Community Shield final, and looking at that team, Jesus Christ, it is pretty solid, isn't it? But to be fair, we did win the Premier League last year, so realistically, I mean, the odds do favour. Oh, bloody hell, I thought we were Manchester United there for a second. God's sake. We do lose 2-1, but let's be honest, boys, 2-1 1 isn't a hammer and we can hang with the big boys now. But we are obviously in the Champions League this time. We're in Group F alongside Atletico, RB Salzburg and Rangers. Now obviously Atletico will probably top the group, but that second place position is definitely up for grabs and I definitely want us to get it. So we're in January and we're top 4 in the Premier League, man, and to be honest boys, at this point I think we can consider Sheffield United easily one of the best teams in the Premier League now. But the annoying thing is Spurs are top of the league now. Don't get me wrong, I like their new manager, but I still absolutely despise the club. And shockingly, we topped Group F with 13 points. RB Salzburg finished second and Atletico are in the bloody Europa League. And Amin Adli with 22 goal contributions in 29 games. He is fast becoming my favourite FC24 player so far. Now we do have 21 million in our budget. Well, the problem is, looking at that starting 11, there's nobody for that amount of money I can put into the team. But our source bench is dying for a better second choice keeper, and I know just who to bring in. I'm going for Kepa from Newcastle United, 32 years old, 83 rated. He probably won't start any games for us, but he's definitely a good second choice keeper. And as you'd expect, he is our one and only signing of this window, as we've just spent 16 million on the dot to bring him to the Blades. And now the team looks like this heading into the knockouts, and honestly, I'm quite confident about what we can do in this competition. But can we get further than the round of 16? I would put my money on it, because last year, bear in mind, we won the Premier League with a weaker side than this. Now obviously it does depend on who we get drawn up against, but I would put my money on us getting past the round of 16. And the first team we're playing in the knockouts is actually Wolfsburg from the Bundesliga, and looking at that team, I mean, there are definitely strengths to that team, but there's certainly weaknesses we can expose. But some of our players are slightly fatigued. It's going to be quite interesting to see how we actually get on. It's a 2-2 draw away from home in the first leg. It goes to the second to decide to win it. Our team are knackered for the second leg, man. I really can't see us getting past Wolfsburg with the team. Oh my... Okay, maybe I was wrong in judging them that quick. McAllister and Fofana put us through to the quarterfinals. I bloody told you we get further than the round of 16. So next up, we've got AC Milan in the quarterfinals. And I'll be real, boys, this might be the end of our journey, because that team is no joke. Our team does look a little bit more up for this one, but I don't think we're going to beat AC Milan, especially away from home. Oh... wow, we didn't just get beaten, we got freaking annihilated. Genuine question, is it even worth playing the second leg? As you can see, our players are knackered. We're 4-0 down on aggregate. Let's just get this over and done with. 5-0. Overall, it ends. Our Champions League journey comes to an end. We made the quarters, but AC Milan have well and truly humbled us. But to be fair, as long as we do make the top 4 this year, I really aren't too fussed. This game is actually crap, man. I could barely win a single Premier League title in FIFA 23. Now we've won it back-to-back with the bloody Blades. I'm not complaining, though, because we beat the bottle jobs to it. Don't you just freaking love to see it? We also made it to the FA Cup final before losing 3-2 to Chelsea as well. That's a bit of a shame. This team, though, boys, the Blades have come a long way. A couple of really good signings next year, and we are going a little bit further than just the quarters in the Champions League. Amin Adli is a monster. 49 goal contributions in 55 games. If you want a prolific goal scorer, boys, you know exactly who you're buying. I'm honestly gassed, boys. From season 1 to now, we've transformed Sheffield United into a monstrosity of a side. I'm honestly gassed, boys. We took charge of Sheffield United when they were the worst team in the Premier League. Now we've gone back-to-back winning the title with them in only 4 seasons. And I'm telling you, with a couple of solid signings next year, we're not only getting the Premier League title, we're getting the Champions League as well. So we're now into season 5 with Sheffield United, and for once the objectives aren't actually that bad. Our high priority is to get a streak of 3 wins in away matches and to sign a crucial player to the defender position. Now, to be honest, that is kind of easy. It makes me laugh though that the low priority is winning the league and the FA Cup, man. I mean, shouldn't that be the other way around? But our very low priority is reaching the Champions League final this year, so our continental success isn't really the one putting pressure on us. And looking at the team, I do want a better defender than Bogle, and I'd like a better centre midfielder than Fofana. Hopefully the budget is there for this, because I intend on spending big this year too. We have got 134 million in the budget, man. The board are finally coming clutch for us. After sorting those positions out, we may even have time to bring in a couple of backup options for this source bench as well. And starting with the right back, I'm going for Tottenham Hotspur's Diogo Dalot. He's 28 years old and 84 rated. But he definitely wasn't the cheapest player in the world, as we've just had to spend spent 37.1 million on him. And as for the centre midfielder role, believe me, I'm going big. Bruno Guimaraes from Atletico Madrid. He's 29 years old, 87 rated. I think this guy's going to take us to the next level. And the absolute best part is contract was running out, so we've only had to spend 58.9 million on him. But now we've only got 28 million in our budget. And whilst we've massively improved our starting 11, the subs bench, however, is a little bit lacking when it comes to attacking midfielders and strikers. And as much as I'd love to improve those positions in particular, I just don't think we've got the budget to. But honestly, the starting 11 is strong enough, man. This team has become an absolute beast. And with the additions of Bruno Guimaraes and Diogo Dalot, I think they're going to take us that next step further in that Champions League. And we are once again in the Community Shield final, this time against Chelsea. Now, if they play anything like they do in real life, this should be a cakewalk. But I'm not going to hold my breath. It's a 5 o'clock kickoff, and once, my days, man, this... Why can't we win this competition? But we are, of course, once again in the Champions League, this time in Group B alongside Sevilla, Porto and Rangers. And last season, I'd argue we were in a tougher group and we topped that, so there's no excuse now why we can't top this group once again. Boys, how the hell are we 7th in the league halfway through the season, man? We've by a mile got the best team we've ever had, and we are by a mile doing the worst we've probably done in a long time. But ironically, we go undefeated in the group stage and we are cruising to the round of 16. Honest to God, man, this game don't make sense at the minute. And so far, Adley and Archer, McAtee, they are carrying the load this year, man. Our front three defo know where the back of that net is. Now, please help me understand how we got 37 million in the budget. Like, is it ticket sales or something? Because I've definitely not sold anybody. Wait, hang on a second. Why the hell Kepa and go? I definitely did not sell Nick Pope. So Nick Pope isn't in our squad hub. He didn't have a release clause, so what the freaking hell's happened there? So he's apparently playing for Real Sociedad. I mean, I don't understand how that's happened. I mean, maybe his contract was running out and it was a pre-contract agreement, but surely that happens at the end of the season, not midway through it. Either way, boys, this is really annoying and we need a better keeper now. But we do have 37 million and I've got a feeling we can get somebody better with that money. And I was right, we can get Alisson, who's 89 rated and is the exact same age as Nick Pope. So all in all, I'd say this has done us a massive favour. And boys, we have just got one of the best goalkeepers in the world right now for just 17 million. I'd say that's a bargain and a half. And now the team looks like this heading into the knockouts, and with Alisson in goal, you better believe I am beyond confident that we can go quite far this time. I mean, in the Premier League, we are in the bin at the minute, but in the Champions League, right now as it stands, we are undefeated. So regardless of who we get drawn up against, I'm pretty certain we can give any team a really good go. But up first in the round of 16 is actually Raquel, and I ain't gonna lie, from everybody we could have got drawn up against, this is literally the dream start. Now after saying that, I swear to God, if we don't beat them, I'm not gonna be very happy. Thank God for that. It's only 2-1 win, but I'll definitely take a 2-1 win over a 2-1 loss. There is slight fatigue in the players, but we are at home, so that is to our advantage. 2-1 up, and we absolutely smashed them in the second leg at home, and we cruise to the quarters. And next up is the bottle jobs in the quarters. I swear on my life, we aren't better lose to these guys. There's a little fatigue in the team, don't get it twisted, but we should get past them. Oh, come on, man. Don't do this to me again. This time last year we got embarrassed in the quarters. Is it going to happen again, or are we going to go through to the semis? Archer in the 49th gets us the winner. Come on, the Blades. And it's AC Milan in the semi-finals. Boys, we've got a very good chance of revenge here. Our team is fatigued, but it is greatly improved since the last time we played them. What's the score going to be? It's a 1-1 draw in the first leg, and it goes to the second to decide the winner. Come on, boys. I know you lot are knackered, but pull through one last time for me against AC Milan. We absolutely smashed them. The Blades, Sheffield United, are in the Champions League final. And boys, we're playing AC Milan's arch rivals Inter Milan in that Champions League final. Now this should be a pretty interesting game. But heading over to the Prem, we actually didn't win it this time. It was Liverpool with 81 points. But the main thing, we were clear of the bottle job, so that's all I really care about. And it's the same three every season. McAtee, Archer and Adley getting us the goals and pretty much carrying the team to the success that we've got. Bad news though, Amadozic is injured for the Champions League final, man. That is gutting, man. I've had him since the start. I brought him to the final only to get him bleeding injured. I am going to swap him with Bogle though. Bogle is absolutely rapid. I reckon he can do the job as a centre-back. But I am absolutely buzzing with this team that we've created, man. To get to the final in 5 seasons with the Blades, I actually challenge you guys to do better than this. And I have sorted the gameplay out, so we will be playing in the final to hopefully get us the one trophy we haven't won yet with the Blades, the Champions League. McAllister's on the ball, we're pushing him forward. Archer, it's going to feed in Dello. Dello, square it. Hit it. Oh my! How does that not go in? McAllister on the corner. Oh, that's a great ball in. Head on that. Oh, come on, man. McAllister on the corner once again. That's once again a really good delivery. Gameres on the turn. Keep it again, man. McAllister's picked it up in the centre of the park. He's looking for the run, but he's not. Oh, okay, we found Archer. Archer versus Laporte. He's going to cut. Why did I do that? That was such a waste of an opportunity because I was trying to be clever. McAllister. Oh, this is nice. That's beautiful. Oh, come on, man. We're doing everything right, but we can't get the final pass right. Adley is now on the ball. We're going to try and do Jimenez. Oh, we've done him. Oh, this is the chance. Adley. Nope. Oh, nah. This game, man. This game is mental. Sousa's on the ball now. The defensive midfielder pushing up. I don't really like that at all. Oh, but this is a great chance. Come on, to take the 1-0 lead. Finally, in the 86th minute, we've done it with, of course, it would be Adley. Beautiful counter-attack stemming from Sousa, and we are 1-0 up. Honestly, boys, it was about goddamn time as well. Oh, no, Inter Milan have got the ball. Oh, it's not good enough, though. They messed around with it too much. The full-time whistle has gone, and Sheffield United, the Blades, are the best team in the world. It's taken us 5 seasons to do it, but we've gone from being the worst team in the Premier League to winning the Champions League. And if you're still here, thank you very much for watching this video, but if you enjoyed that, you should click somewhere here to watch me build the best team in FC24.